Hey guys, it's Arx here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with another keyboard review and I'm so excited for this one as I've heard a lot of good feedback when this board was dropped a few years back. So today we have here another board from my key club, the Jris65 Round 2. Quick disclaimer before we start the video, the Jris65 was sent by my key club for a review, but I wasn't paid to make the video and they didn't see the final script, so of course I'll give you guys my honest and unbiased opinion about the board. Now what's new or what's on the round 2? The JST cable has been extended for smoother build experience. They have upgraded the material and the finish of the screws to avoid stripping issues. And they added a 1.6mm non-flex cut Hotswap PCB, which is really nice to see now that they offer this option. Plus they also tweaked the Poron case foam and it's now also a non-flex cut. Also, the plates has been upgraded for a better ISO support and compatibility. And of course, some new color options to choose from, and even the PVD Mirror Weight. They added 3 new options and 2 new limited edition colors that has some nice gold finish chamfers. Now let's go ahead and unbox the board. So of course, you'll get the usual like this carrying case. Of course, also the usual coiled cable. Now they sent us a flex cut polycarbonate plate and alu plate. We have the flex cut Hotswap PCB and a non-flex cut Hotswap PCB. Of course, the PE sheet, the case and plate foams. Now for the gaskets, there are 2 types, the Poron gasket and the gasket socks. I didn't really find that much of a difference between the two, just a slight change in the sound signature when using it, but not too much noticeable even with the typing feel. Now taking a look at the board itself, my key club sent us the nice silver case and I really like how the finish looks. It gives off that raw aluminum finish vibe to it. They also paired it up with a nice PVD silver at the back. And finish wise, it's very decent. It doesn't have that rough texture to it like the Zoom series, and it's more on that smooth finish. I would say it's very close to their Jris75 or the JRIS75. Now let's quickly talk about my overall thoughts on the look of the board. It actually reminds me of my Vega 65 with a seamless and screwless design factor to it, and actually all the way up to the side profile. So here's a side-by-side comparison with the Vega 65. And as you can see, the main difference would be that the Jris65 has more of the rounded corners and a little bit of a bigger bezels. Now let's build the board. Building the board, it's straightforward, like you won't have any issues with it. I do want to take note that when taking off the top case, just be gentle so that you won't strip or damage any color on your case. Now for the Soundtest, we'll be only using the case foam and plate foam, and I'll be using both non-flex cut and flex cut PCBs along with the polycarbonates and aluminum plate. Now for the switches, we'll be using the Cream Yellow and Cream Yellow Pro from Akko. I made a full sound test on the Jris65 R2 last week. So if you want to see the uncut version of the whole sound test, feel free to check the link below. And by the way, I recommend to put the switches first before putting the PCB on the bottom case. So let's hear the sound test. Also, would like to remind you that the sound may vary depending on your keyboard build, so it might sound and feel different depending on your configuration. I did not use any post-editing on the sound, so with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the Jris65 Round 2. First would be my thoughts on the sound. Now, I was expecting the FlexCut PCB to have that more on the muted side, but surprisingly, it sounds really decent. Like, it didn't have that muted sound that a FlexCut PCB brings out, and I was really surprised by it that it kinda exceeded my expectations, but sound-wise on the FlexCut PCB, it was really good. Now, on the non-FlexCut PCB, of course, it sounded a bit fuller than the FlexCut PCB, but I did notice some slight hollowness or ping when using the non-FlexCut PCB, especially when paired up with the aluminum plates. Now, I only noticed the hollowness on the bottom and top row, but wasn't that noticeable on the alphas. Now, they did include some custom tape for the tape mod, and maybe that would help out, or maybe applying the force break mod would also help. Overall, minus the slight hollowness on the board, it sounds really decent for what it is, may it be with a FlexCut or non-FlexCut PCB. Personally, I like how the FlexCut sounded than the non-FlexCut on this board, and that's really surprising for me, but to be honest, you can't go wrong with the two options, and it would just really boil down to your preference. Next would be my thoughts on the feel. Now, it didn't have that a lot of flex and bounce to it that you would normally expect on a gasket board nowadays. But the gasket on it feels nice, like it really does what a gasket board should do. It evens out the whole typing experience on the board, which makes it nice when typing. Of course, if you want more flex, you can remove the case foam. Now let's move on to my thoughts on the plates. Of course, expect a bit of a stiffer typing feel on the alu plate, especially when you paired it up with the non-FlexCut PCB. So if you want that softer bottom out, use the polycarbonate plate. Personally, just like the sound, I am leaning towards the polycarbonate plate with the FlexCut PCB combination, but the typing feel on the non-FlexCut PCB, it is also refreshing, given that all PCB nowadays are with FlexCut, and I'm glad that we are now having the option to pick and tweak the board to our liking. Overall, honestly, the board, it's really nice. They sound and feel decent for what they are asking, and I also like how simple the design is. And having those weight on the bottom and top piece as an accent, it's very nice to see. And of course, you have the option to go for a non-FlexCut or FlexCut PCB. Now, if you missed out on the round 1 or the R1, now should be your chance, but only thing that was a bit concerning was the slight hollowness. But of course, that can be easily removed or remedied with some mods. Now, I know the round 2 doesn't offer or have those groundbreaking new feature update, but you know the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, personally, I think this is more geared towards to those who missed out on the R1, and maybe for those beginners who want to try a good budget 65% that offers a lot of configuration, and of course, it's kind of leaning towards the budget side of 65%. So yeah, that is it for the video, guys. I hope you find the review helpful. Again, group buy will be live this Wednesday, or maybe live now, depending on when I drop this review. So if you find this review helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button, as it helps out my channel grow. And what's next? Well, we have another keyboard review coming up, and that's the Jris65 version 2 and the new Cream Yellow Pro and Cream Blue Pro next in line for a Switch review, so please stay tuned for that. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys on the next review. Peace.